Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once more to the Overwatch Open. We are following right now SODIPOP and FNATIC. FNATIC coming out strong. SODIPOP having a few flashes of life, but Joro, they're going to have to put things together in a much more cohesive way if they want to take map number 2 away from FNATIC going into our next map, which, by the way, is still to be decided.
Yeah, exactly right. We have, I believe, a choice between Ilios and King's Row, so obviously two very different map types. Based on past performance, I would be a little bit surprised if SODIPOP went for Ilios, just because I feel like the core mechanical level of FNATIC is just really, really high. So on those King of the Hill maps, it could be a bit tricky. So I'm personally expecting to see King's Row here, but even on King's Row, like you said, SODIPOP had brief flashes of really excellent play against FNATIC, but maybe not at the level where they need to maintain it consistently to take the map.
Right, and I think you mentioned one good thing there. In terms of mechanical skill, everything we know right now would sort of indicate that FNATIC does have the edge there. But the thing for SODIPOP is that it doesn't matter too much because wherever they go here, they need to win both. So it's just a matter of which map do they think they can take first and have a little bit more confidence. But we have found out that map is going to be King's Row.
All right, so maybe not mixing it up just yet, but like you said, if they win King's Row, it's great that they have the momentum, it's cool that they have the confidence, they will have to go to Ilios, and they will have to beat FNATIC at Ilios, no matter what. So FNATIC sitting pretty at the moment with a 1-0 advantage going into King's Row. We'll see if SODIPOP are able to bring it back. I really hope to see a close game here. I know FNATIC are absolutely favorites to take this map. If SODIPOP were to do it, is this a case of let's hold on the first point, or do we think they can actually set a faster time?
I mean, it would be a miracle if they were able to hold on first point. I feel like they just sort of need to grind it out and hope for a series of mistakes by FNATIC while also playing out of their minds. I don't really foresee a first point hold, and maybe this is going to be commentator's curse where suddenly it happens. But I feel like on King's Row, it's pretty rare to see first point holds in general, especially when one team is favored over the other. So going in, I would probably say that for SODIPOP, they're just going to have to win it the old-fashioned way, hope for an above-average attack time, and hope that FNATIC makes a few key mistakes.
All right, well, hopefully that will happen. I mean, that's a lot of things to string together, but we have seen Stranger, and we have seen upsets today here at the Overwatch Open as well. Don't forget, tomorrow, you will be tuning in to see the semifinals and the final, first from the EU, then from the NA region. So we're covering some of the matches today, but we will be covering the results of all of those brackets tomorrow. And of course, we'll have 2 extra names to add to our invites list for the playoffs. So all very exciting stuff here.
It is, and for those who are curious what is at stake, since we have to fill a little bit of dead time here in terms of, hang on just one moment, we are going right into King's Row, so hold that thought. We'll leave that to Machine when he gets back.
Yes, indeed we shall. SODIPOP have it all to do now, but it is within the realms of possibility. So we'll see if they can hold on against FNATIC and take it to a Game 3. FNATIC, in the meantime, on the cusp of making it to tomorrow. And they will be looking for a very fast attack time here to try and shut this out early.
Yeah, coming tractions for FNATIC where they will not be on the attack first. In fact, they're going for the defense. So for FNATIC, I think the dream for them here, and by the way, as noted when talking about SODIPOP's odds on attacking, even for FNATIC, I'm not really expecting a first point hold, though I do think they're more likely to do it. They're probably just hoping for a first point hold, end things real quickly, have a quicker night. But take a look here at this defense. It's going to be Stoop on the Reinhardt, IDD QD on what else but McCree, Custa on the Zenyatta, Monothil on Lucio, Cool Matt 69 on the Zarya, and Bud's going to be on Reaper.
And here comes SODIPOP out of the gates. Hyped is going to be the offensive Junkrat, so trying to lay as much damage onto the point as possible. That is going to limit the effectiveness of the shield on Stoop, which will go down very quickly indeed. So they do have to be a little bit mindful of that. Now chucking a couple of bombs through the hotel, and a couple of members of FNATIC suffering damage as a result. No deaths yet, though, and Agility's coming in very early on Genji, and he gets taken out very early, reminiscent of what you said on the last map, ZP. When the Genji gets picked off early like that and the flanking damage disappears, you do kind of have to reset.
You do have to reset, but I just want to note how close SODIPOP was to actually winning this fight. You might go, well, how are they close to winning the fight? They lost 2 people. The spam from Hyped brought IDDQD down to 4 HP. IDDQD is who immediately eliminated Agilities. If IDDQD dies there, the odds are pretty high that SODIPOP is able to just wash over that point and take it. So it shows that even one team is favored, like FNATIC, moments in Overwatch can be decided just by really small margins where things go a little bit differently. IDDQD dies there, and SODIPOP has his point.
Yeah, that's a really good point because Hype has just been on it the entire time. He hasn't placed himself in any dangerous situations. He's just been providing that covering fire that SODIPOP have needed to try and get into good positions. Amusingly, Riptire is available right now, and he is going to use it straight away. His consistent damage has actually been very useful. Thinking about going into the hotel, no, going straight onto the point. Spots Reinhardt shield. He's bubbled up, though, and he's not quite able to get the kills. That bubble could have been the difference, but Hype, anyway, back on oversight duty, and he's going to try and pummel things up. Very, very light in terms of kills here. We're being very patient from both teams.
Well, the problem with SODIPOP now is that the time for patience is about to be ending here. Here's the real threat for them. They're about to have a whole lot of ults up. If they use these ults and don't get the point, if they get raw countered by FNATIC, and FNATIC is not bloodied, SODIPOP could very well be held here at point A. This is the danger zone. They must perform. They're on the way in. They open with the Earth Shadow. They don't get a whole lot with it. Stoop does go down. IDDQD, though, over the top. The Deadeye taking out 2. And FNATIC, they're going to get 4 kills here. They're going to hold SODIPOP back. And note in SODIPOP, they did use a lot of ults there. Notably, both big support ults have been used. FNATIC still hanging on to both Lucio ult and Sound Barrier and Earth Shatter. And now this is very rough here for SODIPOP. Maybe Hyped gets a tire pick off, but the odds that SODIPOP gets held at point A just went up drastically.
They did indeed. So we need to see something just a little bit special. There are 3 ultimates available for them right now. Like you say, Hyped with the tire pick off could be the biggest chance for them here, but you often see teams pick up that tire so early these days. Here comes Agilities, and he is going to be coming in from up above, trying to surprise everyone. Tire coming in simultaneously. Everyone's looking for Genji. Are people looking for Riptire? Agilities get 3 kills actually, and Hype managing to pick off Coolmat69 as well. This is the lifeline that SODIPOP needed.
Agility's coming out in a big way. It has been a relatively quiet night for him here thus far. That was desperately needed by SODIPOP. They didn't even really have a big ult advantage going in there, or any really at all, so good on them to get through the sound barrier and actually take that. They will get the payload on the way, but they're not really out of the woods yet. Certainly FNATIC just bought themselves a whole lot of time and drastically increased the odds that they get a Streets phase hold now.
This is, well, I mean, using all of those ultimates is quite painful, isn't it, really, for the attacking team? But if FNATIC weren't able to hold that, maybe there is a chance for SODIPOP to try and push through here as well. They will have plenty of time, at least behind the shield, to build up some ultimates for themselves, and they will have Transcendence in a couple of moments. And that, of course, turns a lot of big team fights on their head, even when someone has an ult advantage. So FNATIC being quite forward here, being reasonably aggressive. SODIPOP, though, as they go around this corner, are going to have to be thinking about the engage.
Right, well, you take a look at SODIPOP. Nomi definitely won the watch. He's holding on to that Earth Shatter. Gonna drop the Earth Shatter. Does knock down one. Transcendence comes out from Custa, though. Going to stop SODIPOP from getting a whole lot of effort on that. Coolmat returning fire. Takes out Hype. Buds now into the thick of things. Onto Nomi. 3 kills here from FNATIC. Washing right over SODIPOP. They're going to send them back and going to be a hold from FNATIC. And there's no load for Bear in the next fight. They will have Graviton up. Sound Barrier going to be up soon. And SODIPOP, no easy road for them here. They're going to have to do this on even terms.
Yeah, I mean, they have got both support ultimates available, at least. Ultimates that are not currently available for FNATIC. So in terms of stamina in this team fight, they could have this won, but it only if FNATIC, like, they get the couple of points up. And here we go. So 5 seconds, that's going to be very useful as they move through now with Lucio. And we've got Hype as well to back things up with Transcendence. But Coolmat69 looking for a good opportunity to use the ultimate on Zarya here. He's moving around behind. He looks for an opportunity. There it is. Everyone gets caught up in the Graviton Surge. Where are the kills? Transcendence coming out, though. They're not here, but now we have Lucio on the part of FNATIC, and they're able to stay alive as well. IDDQD Custa start things off.
Well, one thing I want to note there on what we just saw is that that was a complete waste of a Lucio ult by SODIPOP because FNATIC had the presence of mind to back right out. They knew that big against his Buds into the back, gets the triple kill right with the Death Blossom, blowing things up in a flash. And that's going to be the exclamation point on the fight. But the reason why that fight didn't go well for SODIPOP is that they were very telegraphed on their engage. FNATIC knew it was coming, and they just backed out. And they got literally nothing off their sound barrier, but maybe a little bit of space. That's not enough.
Yeah, I mean, the space is something if the payload moves the entire time, it goes around a couple of corners, right? But they were actually quite far ahead of the payload at that point, weren't they? So knowing that they needed to buy time for 5 seconds was good. FNATIC able to sort of duck around, and now we see Genji just silently moving about. Maybe Agilities will be able to get something done here. Grim Reality starting things off with a High Noon, looking for those pickoffs, but a Stoop able to hold strong on Reinhardt in the meantime. And there's a huge Earth Shatter. Does he get a couple of people? Grim Reality gets knocked out of the way, and Agilities gets taken out at the same time. IDDQD coming in to pick up Grim Reality. A little bit of a consolation kill, and he gets picked off as well. Coolmat69 with a double at the end, and that is a complete team wipe for FNATIC.
Yeah, everything went really well there. Stoop, of course, setting it up. The rest of FNATIC knocking it down. Not too much else to say here, but you take a look at the situation that SODIPOP now finds themselves in. They must win the next team fight, or that is going to be it. They need to win the team fight and keep the momentum going to the next wave. Coolmat, 90% charge. They have Deadeye up. They're about to have Graviton up once more. SODIPOP not working with much of anything. They must win this without the use of their Q key for a while. Maybe Agilities will get Dragon Blade in the middle of it, but here we go. Fight is underway. SODIPOP knows they have to move. The Graviton is out. 4 people are in. Coolmat looking for the fall through. Bud's in the back line. The Transcendence does come out at the very end. Thankfully for SODIPOP, otherwise it would have been a full team wipe. They are still down a McCree, however, as they're looking for a little bit more, and they're just going to push this forward. Down goes Nomi, and this should be it. Barring a miracle, SODIPOP going to be held right here in the streets.
Yeah, I think so. 12 seconds remaining, and I have to say, even in the situations where there weren't loads of kills, Coolmat69 has been so on point with the Graviton Surges. Every single one put SODIPOP in a position where they had to use a Transcendence, they had to go full-on defensive mode, and I think Coolmat's just been fantastic.
Yeah, Coolmat, of course, not only known for his DPS play, but he's been playing more tanks like Zarya, and he is able to do all sorts of damage. Of course, we saw him on Roadhog in the last meta a lot more frequently, and just a very solid player in general. And I think the reason why he's on tank, despite he is a great DPS player, he's also just incredibly solid at decision-making, which also is part of why he's a great DPS player. So, Matt, master of many heroes, and no surprise there.
Yeah, very, very nicely played. And now FNATIC are in a position where, as long as they get past the streets phase here on Kings Row, they will take a 2-0 victory over SODIPOP and advance to tomorrow. SODIPOP, I mean, they did have a hill to climb. That hill has just become a mountain, ZP. And right now, they're going to have to really dig deep and find something maybe that might be beyond their grasp.
Well, we talked about first point holds going into the game, and this is where SODIPOP, if they want to win this game, their best bet is absolutely holding on point A, which not super likely, but it's definitely more likely than if they lose point A, holding on the streets for that minimal amount of space. I mean, they would have to be truly well and dominating FNATIC for that to work out. But take a look here at the defense coming out from SODIPOP. It's going to be Nomi here on the Reinhardt, hyped on the Zarya, hyped on the Zarya, hype on the Zenyatta, Jur on the Lucio, Grim Reality on McCree, and Agility is going to be on Reaper. Hyped and hype, man.
I know. They can be right alongside Red Laurie and Yellow Laurie, and we can get all these guys on one team, and then that would be official caster nightmare. FNATIC now looking to attack, looking to put this game beyond the reach of a SODIPOP. IDDQD is going to be on Tracer to start things off, unless we see a quick switch from him. I'll be very interested to see how that goes. Coolmat69 again on Zarya. I hope to see some more fantastic plays from them. Stoop is going to be leaping in on Winston to start things off. Custer will once again be playing Zenyatta. Vonahil, of course, on trusty Lucio. And Buds will be playing Reaper.
All right, so FNATIC moving in. IDDQD quickly claiming the high ground, going to the top, and oh my goodness, Zenyatta in the worst possible position right now. I think he has no idea that Tracer is on the way, has to immediately go to his team for help, will evade the danger, at least for now, gets him out of position as the rest of FNATIC moving right in with IDDQD. Bud's able to capitalize onto Nomi. A quick pick up here for FNATIC. They're setting things up the way they want to. The flank works out, the Russian works out. Bud's on the double kill here, and this should be a very quick first cap here for FNATIC, which is the absolute worst case scenario here for SODIPOP.
Yeah, this is so difficult. I mean, if you look at IDDQD's positioning there in the window, ZP, I thought that was really great because for SODIPOP to be looking out for both IDDQD and on the point, they basically have to turn about 180 degrees. It's so difficult to do that. So Tracer just had complete and utter unfettered access to the rest of the fight.
All right, so FNATIC, they're going to keep this moving forward. IDDQD, of course, has a Pulse Bomb. Tracer builds that really quickly. But right now, in a situation where no one on SODIPOP has ults, if he gets a pickoff with Pulse Bomb, that could be it already. SODIPOP treading on very thin ice at the moment. A lot of ways they can lose this game, and here comes IDDQD, moves to the back line, has the Pulse Bomb, does not get what he's looking for, but does create an opening for the rest of FNATIC. They'll rush right in. They move in with the Transcendence up here. IDDQD on the Nomi. They get the first pickoff. They're looking for a little bit more. And on the note, they have 2 people back in the payload while they're fighting it. A little bit of greed here, but this is working out thus far. However, it might be too much greed. SODIPOP, 2 kills, starting to turn back their favor. Custa off on an island. He is going to get sunk, or will he? As IDDQD comes in and saves his life.
Wow, IDDQD quite literally kills the hype there, and Agility's picking up with a double kill as well. Grim Reality coming in at the end, and SODIPOP live to fight another day, but FNATIC have so much time to get to this point, and I mean, the payload is now just over 10 meters away. This is going to be very difficult for them to hold around the corner here.
It's going to be incredibly difficult, and you take a look at what SODIPOP is here. Maybe Hyped hits a great Graviton and buys in a little bit more time, but then what do you do for the next 4 minutes? They have to win a bunch of fights. Some of those fights are going to be very much not in their favor, but they must win it all the same, or their tournament life will be over. IDDQD right now on the flank has Pulse Bomb up once more, is going to be looking for the early pickoff. Right now just doing all sorts of damage to Reinhardt, who does get hit by the Discord Orb. They're forcing the defense back. Here comes the Pulse Bomb, does not stick, but still blows up Grim Reality anyways. A super vital pick here for the side of FNATIC as they move it forward.
And this is looking incredibly likely for IDDQD right now. Hype going down as well, so no Zenyatta on the side of SODIPOP as the payload now looks to get even closer. 76 out of 82 meters. This is as close as you like. 6v3 at the moment, and this is desperation mode. IDDQD continue to doing excellent damage from the back. The payload is now moving once again and will hit that rather terrible parking space. That is just a rubbish place to place a payload, but FNATIC do not care right now. They take the victory 2-0.
I'm just wondering why Custa in chat said, okay, Harry Hook. Referencing something I don't know, but by the way, that Genji skin, incredibly awesome. Of course, things not working out so well here for SODIPOP, but we'll look at display the game coming out by Agilities. This blade is white and red.
I mean, that's about as good a color as any. Whenever I see the blade as pure gold, I think gold's a pretty soft metal. That can't work too well at all, but it looks like Agilities was able to do that. And, well, congratulations to FNATIC, commiserations to SODIPOP there. But they have been consistent in always getting through to these later rounds in the tournament. That will rack them up valuable points basically in their quest to get through to the playoffs here.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to rack them up valuable points, and for SODIPOP, it's at least giving them time to improve, where maybe when we do get to the final tournament here with our top 16 teams, they can really come out and make a thing of it. But you know who's going to be here throughout right now and into the finals? Machine joins us here once more. How are you doing?
I just want to highlight that John is a very funny fellow and is sitting there like looking at the golden sword like, actually, that's not a particularly viable method of making a
No,
sword.
absolutely not.
I mean, gold is a soft metal. It's obviously not going to be slicing through as incredible as everything else.
You'd hit Reinhardt and you just get dents in it. It won't work.
You see, now you're turned on. You're switched on. Well, you could be turned on. I did get a new haircut. Maybe that's what's floating your boat at the moment. I am putting my foot in it all over the place today. John, I'm sorry. I know you're a bit hot under the collar after that one. And so will SODIPOP after the speed at which they did fall. We anticipated it, fellows. We've kind of encountered a fair few stomps. I'm going to use that word. It often does. We kind of encounter them towards the Saturdays, the Sundays. You do get the real blockbusters. Now, SODIPOP falling, yes, it may have been predictable. Yes, just Dorado and Kings Row were seen. We didn't get a chance to see Ilios at all over the Saturday. Was it kind of just another day in the office for FNATIC? Did we see anything that really did kind of excite us? I can't help but, I guess because I'm a Tracer main and I'm biased, I love just seeing IDDQD pulling that out on a payload. That was exciting. Anything else to kind of highlight from this game?
Mine is seeing more Tracer play, which is always awesome to see. I mean, I think you said it best, where it's like, just another day at the office. Certainly, FNATIC has been doing pretty well here. SODIPOP not really able to bring things up to the next level. And sometimes teams do play up to the level of their opponent, where FNATIC, maybe not in full stomp mode, but clearly in control at pretty much all points in the series. So, I mean, there's nothing too much remarkable. Just very solid play coming up from FNATIC, and SODIPOP not getting quite enough contribution on the whole.
No, I don't know if you can remember on Dorado, but I mean, just watching it from back there, you could see just how quickly they got that first point. FNATIC on the attack had, I'm not even sure, I think they conceded one team wipe throughout the entirety of that push, like one actual full wipe. SODIPOP were unable to mount a defense. Like does that just come down to just not being good enough at this point in time? Like there's not much more you can analyze. It's just FNATIC were better, they won their exchanges, and that's how they managed to push it so damn quick. Because they finished that El Dorado. I keep wanting to call it El Dorado. I watched it recently. It's actually a really good cartoon. Recommend it. Yes. Road to El Dorado. But yeah, as I'm saying, does it just come down to they weren't good enough on a mechanical level?
You need to be able to get the initial hook into their position. So what I mean is, if SODIPOP are able to establish themselves on the first floor, on the second point of Dorado, for example, FNATIC need to find a way to get the initial pick off, or to get them to collapse onto the ground first, or there has to be something that works in their favor. But it feels like every single time they find a chink in the armor, they're able to win the resultant team fight. So I think mechanical between the two teams definitely plays a big part there. And
just while we have the opportunity to find a silver lining, ZP, I've managed to do it. I've found a silver lining for SODIPOP. Is that, you know, this is a great way to demonstrate, you know, the different tier levels. Like if you look at SODIPOP, like they are in the quarterfinals here. Like, I just want to make that abundantly clear that they made a lot of progress through this bracket, and then you see FNATIC turn up and just stomp them, right? That was a convincing 2-0. And this isn't a negative thing. It may sound like it, but what I'm saying is that you've got teams like SODIPOP who are already mounting up points, mounting up experience versus the world's best, the region's best. They just got to play a best of 3 versus FNATIC. They're going to have learned from that. They're going to be able to review that VOD, and that's a silver lining for them.
So the one thing I do want to note, aside from the hilarity of just like, well, the good thing here is that now we know where the tiers stand and they're not for next tier. I know it wasn't meant that way. But one good thing for SODIPOP there, if nothing else, one of their better moments was, even though I think they were losing on just a raw mechanical level, there's no way of saying that, their ult game at points wasn't too bad. In particular, when they were able to crack Dorado point A, you saw that they staggered ults really well. They used Transcendence. They didn't immediately panic use Sound Barrier. They kept everyone alive with the Transcendence, went in with the Sound Barrier a little bit staggered, and caught FNATIC off guard, largely off of their good use of Ultimate. So that part of it clearly working out. I think in the end, though, they're just going to have to hope to win more just the little skirmishes that you get in Overwatch that do highlight mechanical play more often if they want to compete against the likes of FNATIC, the likes of Cloud9, the likes of Envious. So
yeah, there is definitely, I mean, there's a steep learning curve already. It's definitely abundantly clear. And as always, at the end of the game, after these guys have given me their thoughts, I've picked their brains, we get to see the best play of the game. That's what we're going to have a look at now, courtesy of Republic of Gamers. We're going to go ahead and throw it up on your screens. This is the incredible play of the game from ROG. This time it features Reaper, and he presses one single button and does a twirl of doom. That's right, it is another Death Blossom. This time from Buds, who pulled a plethora of different heroes out. You can see 3 people melted in a matter of seconds. And I mean, that was something. There you go. Another discussion topic was Buds' little cheeky Widowmaker at the end there. He pulled it out close quarters. We got to see a little bit of a bouncing Widow. He plucked a Lucio out of the air. There is still a very slight chance that we'll be seeing these occasional Widows crop up.
So the reason why you saw that Widow, and I think the reason why it worked, even though historically, I mean, it's one of those things where even in a pub in Complar, it's like, oh my God, why are you running Widow here? And historically, teams switch off a Widow for last. The reason why it worked is that Grim Reality was being a little bit aggressive on his poking.
Yeah.
I think he wasn't aware that a Widow came up, and it only takes one shot to a McCree that's not immediately aware of that switch up to immediately change things, because at that point, they were having a benefit no matter what. Even if Buds did nothing else from that point,
one kill.
He took away one of the most important players on the defense, someone who disproportionately carries, and whether Buds got more kills or not, it was already worth it for FNATIC on that push.
Right, so it was just mission accomplished. Absolutely awesome. Closing thoughts from you, John.
I think if you think about the time, the time that Widow spent being effective from the kill on Grim Reality onwards, really we were only looking at a 20 to 30 second period. But in that time, of course, you basically got most of a team away. I think Widow got 4 kills in that period, and we didn't see too much else. But like you said, ZP, we didn't need to see that much else out of Widow. In, out, mission accomplished.
And it was them just kind of thinking on their feet, because it did seem like they hit a little bit of a wall. They were so close yet so far. They were like, what do we do? Quickly, okay, Buds pulls out a Widow, hits 2 shots, take a healer out, take a McCree out. Job done. First nail in the SODIPOP coffin. And that is us done and dusted. Once again, another team has secured a spot in the semi-finals. We have all of that to look forward to tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's all going to be thrown in your face. What did you enjoy and what are you looking forward to tomorrow are the questions I'm now asking you guys to get involved on social media. You guys have been great so far. I've been enjoying myself scrolling through that hashtag. You know what it is by now. It is none other than OW Open. Out Open is how I'm going to be pronouncing it from now on. And it's, of course, a hashtag. I have to do that, otherwise I can't sleep at night. So do be sure to check it out, guys. Scroll through your social media, scroll through overwatchopen.com as well. We'll be back same time tomorrow with the semi-finals and grand finals. Tomorrow, a 3rd team from both regions will be locking in a spot in the playoffs. See you then.